Fantasia. How you doing tonight, Fantasia?
Doing pretty well. Super excited for the start of this community tournament. Omnidextrous Memers Guild has really proven to be an interesting flag set that really significantly changes up how you do things here in the free enterprise community. So, really looking forward to watching this back and going through what I think we have to clarify. These are VODs. These races have already been completed and already done, but we're going to treat this as a live race tonight, watching four of some of the top runners in our community: Kyrios, Frankie Bones, Fiery Blizzard, and Judge Joe, with their runs for this. I believe this is the second of the two asyncs that was run.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of liking the whole little dichotomy going on here. You ran this seed. I am not actually part of this tournament this year. Kind of strange saying that, honestly. Put myself in the booth here, but we're gonna kind of get what you remember and can giggle at what I think should be happening here. Now again, Omnidextrous does mean that we do have a whole lot of equipment options here. For those who have not paid any attention here, the Omnidextrous flag does mean anybody can equip any mix of any two weapons in the right and left hand, as well as any three pieces of armor in the bottom. No equipment restrictions whatsoever. If you want that ready to be holding an Avenger and a Crystal Sword, well, we're not stopping you.
Absolutely. Omnidextrous really does lend itself to some really creative solutions. It's just about, part of it is getting just warm bodies in there to be able to do whatever you need. Of course, your stat gains as you level up certainly are still important. Shields are considered weapons in this case, so it has been very popular for the guaranteed white mage, whoever that may be, Rosa or Porum, whoever shows up. Hey, we're going to throw a couple of, Crystal Shield, Aegis Shield, and guess what? Nothing is getting through that ever.
It amuses me to no end just to think of any character here, or a Porum throwing up two giant tower shields in front of her, just saying, "Oh no, you can't touch this now."
It's a very common tactic that you do until you find like a lunar staff or something that gives you plus 15 to willpower. But this, and you mentioned it earlier, I did run the seed. I kind of know how things go. That being said, I barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so don't expect me to be an expert on how things are going to end up rolling for this seed. We're going to react to it live.
Yeah, we'll just have a little counter in the bottom, and every time Vitasia says, "Oh yeah, I remember that," we'll just tick up the counter by one, see where we get to. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So some of the other flag sets, because again, this is the start of this OMG tournament. So we want to make sure to educate everyone about the flag sets that are going to be coming on. So it is the Omnidextrous flag is obviously the main driver of a lot of routing decisions. But some of the other things that are going to be going on, it is a guaranteed hook route seed. So we are going to be going through the underground. That does have some logical concerns depending on where we find Darkest Crystal. Some of the other things worth noting, there are no J items that are going to be available in any shop. That is worth noting as well. As well as, I think it's Distinct 7 going on. Also, the objectives are going to be static throughout this entire tournament. These objectives that you see on the screen are going to be the same objectives for every seed that we run. So it makes it a little bit easier to plan what's going on, to optimize your routing, because you always know what you're going to be looking for.
One other thing here, I believe, is something we don't see in many actual tournament flags. I believe K-Trap is on for this one, correct?
Absolutely. K-Trap is on. K-Summon is not on. So it is K-Moon and K-Trap. So yeah, certainly going to emphasize doing those trap chests, which we do have tier 5 loot is restricted to any of the non-trap chests. But when you are already incentivized to do the trap chests anyway, it does lend itself to a lot of really high-powered gear of being in it available from those trap chests. So you're going to be rewarded kind of one way or the other when you do the trap chests.
Apparently, we just I did not remember summon there. Royal Vacation here. The Feymarch Monarchy is completely out to lunch here, as well as Bahamut. Odin, you're on the throne. You're probably not getting fought right now, except for Baron.
Absolutely. There is only one boss hunt in this whole flag set, and that is the Fabul Gauntlet. That is worth noting that you are not completely excused from the boss hunt. You do have to keep an eye out for that Fabul Gauntlet, wherever it may be, because that is an objective. Even Rydia's mother with the Mist Dragon Cave, we have Bedward activated, so we have our free key item available. So Mist Dragon is not bonus round in this particular flag set. So only one boss hunt on the hunt, and that is the Fabul Gauntlet. And we get very excited when we see that wherever it may be.
With that, I believe we should possibly be starting soon here. I believe we went through most of the optional stuff here. So if we just get on the road here in just a little bit so we can figure out what's going on here. Again, this was async number 2, async number 2, I believe here. And I believe number 3 and 4 are up at the moment here.
Absolutely. Asyncs 3 and 4 are currently live right now. I believe they have to be run before the end of Saturday at midnight. So, to be sure, if you are a member of the tournament, I still have to run it myself. I have not seen the 3 and 4 yet, but this is race async number 2 for this season. So, as soon as we are ready to go, we will be off and running for our 4 restreamers who are in here. I do Saturday at noon Eastern is what Scythe Marshall is saying. Okay. So we're getting the call. So we're going to count everything down. So we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here we go.
That starting Rosa feels really good to me here. Again, with now, and I do believe they did say items were in shops, just not in chests here. Kane with more equipment options sounds really good. A drain spear, well, that makes about anybody these days an anchor here. And Rosa, again, white mages with berserk with high-powered stuff is just not bad. Period.
Something worth pointing out, the starting kit is randomized, and in this particular case, we do have a fantastic starting kit with 3 hourglasses available. Now, with the Kane and Rosa start, I believe, a very popular start is to immediately go get as much equipment as you possibly can in Castle Ebland. And I will tell you, I do remember what my opening was in this one. There is enough gear in this opening Ebland Castle to immediately start opening treasure chests. So I will. It's going to be really curious to see if anyone else opts to start immediately opening some treasure chests here in Castle Ebland. I know. Again, I know I did it, and I was able to clear it without any wipes. There was a rune axe that Kyrios did just fine, which does make is a fantastic starter, as along with an Aegis shield for that Rosa. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone else starts out. I did the Judge Joe routing, where I started in the center and I moved over to the left so I can immediately start opening the treasure chests from there, just to make things a little bit more efficient. Everyone else kind of started off on the left and then went to the middle, opting to bypass that first Staelman skull chest there. It'll be interesting to see if anyone else opens things up.
Now, quick guys, just say, may bypass that there. I believe traps are in their vanilla locations right now. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So we know where the trap chests are. And we did see a heroin robe, by the way, also open up. So heroin robe is, for lack of a better term, the best piece of equipment you could possibly hope to find. It is on par with, it's getting very, very close with an adamant armor, frankly speaking, for your melee fighters.
Yeah, I did see Runex. Did see Judge Joe might have missed that Runex actually there, but that's Assassin Dagger. That was Assassin Dagger Earthhammer Kane, I believe. That's an interesting little thing there. But Judge Joe did go immediately for that, and I do kind of agree with this. As yeah, that Kane is definitely enough to take out those black cats and avoid the blaster. Now I don't know what Rosa might have here, and you'd rather she got some XP probably. Oh, that's a low roll. Unfortunate. Rosa pays the price for the low roll, unfortunately, there.
Just paid the price, but your defenses at this point in time are high enough because you have that heroine robe. If you want to bring her up, that's great. It does look like 3 of our 4 runners said, yeah, let's go ahead and run this. We do see Kyrios go ahead and use an hourglass, and that is the hook. Is the first item that we get. It is a required hook route, and we just got the hook, which is a key piece of gear. Again, happy to see it. Love to see it. We have everything that is kind of pointing us where we're going to go here right now.
Yep, Gungnir as well. That it does look like is being equipped over there on Judge Joe's Mad Ogres here. Again, not even putting into words that the 3 hourglasses here. It is something you might actually skip just because of the power you already have, at least on one of your 2 characters here. That maybe we don't have to. Maybe we just kill these and save these hourglasses for a rainier day, which could be out there. But
I believe when I did this, I did 2 out of the 3. I used 2 out of the 3. Like by the time I got to the ogre's chest, I had enough armor and between the heroine robe and the rune ring, I was able to save it for I think the warrior's chest later. Frankie Bones already complete. I think Fiery Blizzard is also complete. There's Joe as well. We'll see if they dive back in for the 3rd one as well, or they take off. I don't believe it was a key item in that last spot, but we do have the Legend Sword as well.
Now, big question there. I do not remember. Again, I do not run these seeds. The Forge, is it just good for a good shop, or do we have the potentiality of a Supersmith out there?
It is a Supersmith, yes. It is any Supersmith weapon is in the mix, so it's not restricted to any hero or anything of that nature. So there is a possibility of a fantastic Smith weapon. It is an objective as well, so you really want to go ahead and launch that and get that Supersmith weapon if you can get it fairly early. I will not spoil what could potentially be there for this particular Supersmith weapon. How about that? I'm not going to spoil it for you guys.
I mean, come on. We all want to see Eddie swinging around a Thor or a flare hammer, right?
I mean, I would love to see that. Spoiler alert: we are not going to see Edward swinging around a flare hammer this particular seed. That is specific enough. I am confident that I can say that without saying spoiler alert. So.
How unfortunate. Anyway, Baron N just happened. I was looking away. It looks like a pink tail. I didn't even see the bosses though, so
it was quick. I believe the second boss was King Queen Eplin, so it was super, super fast.
Oh, Valvulus was the first one. That's kind of more important there. I mean, Valvulus kind of takes a little bit more of a back seat here on these seats, just because, usually you're worried, like, if I bring, like, a full caster group in here, now everybody's just swinging around all this weaponry, and she's like, I did not sign up for this.
I will say, Kyrios does pick up, I think, the only one, although Frankie Bones is currently on the Staleman Skull as well. This is a lightsaber, which is a fantastic piece of early weaponry as well. Plus wisdom, plus strength, maybe?
I believe plus wisdom, cannot remember on the plus strength side of that there. Does have a wonderful hit rate, I believe, at 99% though.
Meanwhile, Judge Joe and Fiery Blizzard both show us we do have an Edward that is up on Mount Hobbs for our 3rd character. First one out there. We did have a duplicate Kane, and Baron in, so that did not allow us any additional options there.
And honestly, Edward has to be like one of the saddest characters here, because his biggest claim to fame here is that spoon, and now we're just even robbing that from him. You know, Rose is taking that spoon and says, "No, this is mine now."
That being said, Edward can sit back and dual wield rune axe, whatever you want. I mean, it's he is a fine melee character. Frankly speaking, Edward has his own strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, he can do the hide command, which is certainly beneficial for certain bosses. His HP growth, yes, absolutely terrible. You don't necessarily want to do that. But in this particular flag set, where as long as you got 2 to 3 melee fighters swinging with reasonable weapons, you may not see a full powered Big Bang in Zeromus. So that low HP pool matters less and less.
Speaking of things we don't want to see, even if they are related to objectives, that was a Twin Harp out of Antlion.
Absolutely. This was a fantastic pickup, and I remember picking that up going, oh, it's one of those. I mean, yes, you will absolutely dive that. It's a great bit of experience that you want to do anyway. So yeah, I remember picking that up and immediately the free enterprise mantra popped into my head. If you have objectives, do your objectives.
Yeah, there's very little that would keep me from actually doing said objective there, as we see Odin taking a bath there. Royalty's still on vacation, apparently, so there's that. And we do have Judge Joe marching into Fabul here, saying, I don't care about your single dip Fabul, I'm going in here right now. Just a Mylon C. Unfortunately, that Earth Hammer does carry a fire element to it, so not long for this world after Kane does things.
Now, I hate to play the spoiler, but this King of Fabul is going to give us, garbage. I completely skipped this. So, Judge Joe got that mute knife, and I hate to say it, it was completely optional.
I mean, salt in the wound there, because you've already even seen Asura down at Antlion there. So of the bosses you want to have a mute knife for, at least one of the three, the other being the Baron Guards and the Ruby part of Elements, are kind of out to lunch.
Yeah, and I think the compounding that is going to be that rune axe that we got earlier, which when everyone can equip a rune axe or a mute knife or whatever it is that you're looking for, it doesn't make it so required there.
I am kind of surprised they didn't check Bedward a little earlier here, because if he zonks on the key item, which he didn't, that's a package, but if he zonk on the key item there, generally you're going to get a high tier piece of gear, usually probably a weapon in this case. But no, that did not happen. Just a package, something all our people are thrilled to see, let me tell you. I'm sorry, I'm coming off as very snarky tonight, aren't I?
I mean, I think this flag set lends itself to snark, though. So I'll concede the point. Yeah.
Fair enough. Judge Joe is going and petting the flame dog here. Which, hey, why not? Even though I do believe that no, Zod is not a objective here, so you're probably not going to find yourself back once you do this here. Flame Dog out, and a weapon you're normally hyped to grab in that Masamune. Unfortunately, Edge's Ninja Steel is already kind of based around the fact that they expect Edge to be wielding 2 ninja swords. So that Masamune is not as hot as you think here.
Absolutely not. Really, there's been debate in the OMG channels in the Discord about how valuable that is. Really, it's about like an ice brand. Realistically, I mean,
it's a nice brand with 5 agility strapped to it there, so.
Meanwhile, DJ Spoony B might be available here on Fiery Blizzard's side. Okay, Fiery Blizzard finishes up right as Judge Joe is about to start his. Did highlight Pinktail was a Dragoon Lance.
So anyways, in the top 5 worst places of your Fabul Gauntlet to be, even if it is an objective, I'm pretty sure Back Attack Ordeals ranks up there. That's exactly what Frankie Bones has found here. That Earth Hammer usually swung a lot in this case, doing a whole bunch of work here in terms of the area clear that our parties really don't have a bunch of right now. Is making short work of this gauntlet, or at least as short work as you get after all the enemies have a swing and a half before you get your first turn.
Yeah, it's not a fantastic spot for the alt gauntlet, but it does lend itself to a lot of increased routing decisions. For example, going into the Fey March, you're not going to be checking those extra, the King and Queen, because, hey, you know what's going on. You are less concerned with a lot of what the boss checks are going to be because you found this. So this is a fantastic pickup that a lot of runners got. But yeah.
It is a little strange because I have been, I'm not completely in the dark here. A couple runners, at the very least, though, have been putting off ordeals here as a Dark Knight Cecil, because that darkness command is more just your, attack power, I believe, and strength modifiers there. That Dark Wave can actually get pretty spicy when you start factoring in Omnidextrous there. And yeah, Dark Knight Cecil is something that some people want to keep around here. So doing ordeals sometimes, people just want to put it off because they want to keep that command, because, Sweeper's still good here every once in a while if you run into, like that gauntlet or, all these trap chests, that you're likely to hit. But big payoff for Frankie just jumping into the that all gauntlet there.
Yeah. Shout out to Possum Morpheus, who's pointing out how the Dark Wave attack damage is calculated. So it is based on your attack power plus base physical, which is a fantastic pickup. Meanwhile, Frankie Bones does show us the Rat Tail, so we'll be able to double turn in Rat and Pink there, a little bit more efficient. The other thing about Dark Knight Cecil is it is a time investment to come up here for 1 key item check and 3 bosses that you have to get through. If you're not looking necessarily for, for the alt gauntlet, then it's a significant time investment to come up here on Mount Ordeals, and it's very easy to go ahead and pass that up, especially for a character when you're Omnidextrous. Everyone can equip a Crystal Sword. Everyone can equip an Excalibur. You're not light on power, and Dark Knight Cecil's HP curve is roughly the same. It's somewhere between Palom and Edward. which is still to say bad, but survivable. Like you can survive a nerfed Big Bang to get you into the second Big Bang, and then still swing for pretty high damage there.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the same for just about anybody on Omnidextrous there. But yeah, it's the whole thing where you don't need the sheer bulk, and honestly, even Paladin Cecil's other giant selling point. Yeah, you could make one heck of a cover tank that would practically be immune to anything without adamant armor. But honestly, things should be dying so quickly that it really shouldn't be a thing.
Meanwhile, Curios is going to be the first runner who's going to be diving into the stream. Now, keep in mind, has not seen the Fabul Gauntlet, which we know is on Mount Ordeals, has not done the Twin Harp either. Does not even have the harp, so hasn't even done the Antlion Cave. Curios said, I have the hook. I know that I have to get underground some way. We're going to go that way.
Yeah, kind of a testament to just how hard this spot normally hits, as they are doing, these Dark Imps are doing more than one damage to these characters. I believe Rosa's got like Crystal Ring and a couple other good pieces here. Kane, yeah, these Dark Imps want to hurt you still in the KQE spot, and just aren't going to get there, as Kyrios is through those dimps, and I can't even remember. Maybe I know. Excuse me, I'm not trying to make anybody tired. Okay, it was a Lunar Sparkle there.
And I think Curios is in our chat right now. Again, these are pre-recorded, and I think Curios gives a peek behind his train of thought. Imagine doing a dungeon you can exit out of without having the exit spell. And you know what? I don't necessarily disagree with you, Curios, on that. It's like, hey, we're going to go ahead and wait until we have the ability to exit out of here before we're going to do it, before it's absolutely required. So that's other runners are like, hey, it's an objective. Let's go do it immediately, which is certainly what I thought. But it's a logical thought process to say, hey, I can exit out of this and get through this a lot faster if I hold off for a second.
Yeah, that Goon Spear from the Pinktail really paying off here. Unfortunately, Kane does get hit by that breath attack there. Didn't put that jump in. I was really hoping to see a flying frog there for a moment.
Does it happen even if you get frogged?
I think a flying mini can happen. I don't know about a flying frog.
If anyone in chat happens to know, well, we'd love to know the answer to that. If flying frog is a thing.
Meanwhile, I believe we're about to get part 3 of music, as Kyrios is through. First one, at least on the restream underground, at just a paltry 22 minutes and 15 seconds on the pitfall. That's not fast or anything.
Lord Goober makes an interesting point in chat. You know, we got our answer to that, to the D Lunars pretty early with that Pinktail. If you turned in the Pinktail, you got the Dragoon Lance, which certainly did quite a bit of damage for those D Lunars. However, I'm going to counter that, Lord Goober, by saying we got our answer to those much sooner, in that if you wanted to do Lunar Frogs, you could, but also we got a Flame Whip, and the Flame Whip would do quite a bit of damage as well to those D-Lunars. So we have multiple answers to that.
Yep. Speaking of, I get to stop talking again because, hey, there's a harp going on one more time.
And we are through with 3 out of the 4 harp fights, I believe, for this evening. We also saw Kyrios take on the warrior chest. I don't believe. Oh, it was Earth Crystal. That's right. No, Earth Crystal was. That was not Earth Crystal. Earth Crystal was from the Staleman chest on our way underground that none of our runners have even done. Judge Joe is kind of next in line.
Yep, Luca Key out of the freebie, and just gonna. That's right, Kyrios has not been up ordeals, so that is definitely just an all gauntlet check there. Again, no real reason to otherwise disturb the Feymarch royalty. Don't even have to really wistfully look at a Debus there and say, look, we don't even need to see you take a vacation.
Yep. We did get corrected. That was an Excalibur in the Warrior's chest. And that's, by the way, Excalibur, fantastic piece of gear. I don't know if everyone knows that. Just a great piece of gear and something that will go great with anyone now because we don't need a Cecil.
Yeah, the big thing here is, as I have seen many, like, as people say, early levels, you do want that attack power, but later on, especially if you get, somebody with that Excalc who has a already kind of higher strength, you kind of want to start stacking in some of those other passive stat buffs, especially from, like, your Flame Whips, your Dragon Whips, your Earth Hammer for the extra strength. Anything that gives you some of that extra edge of attack power, because when you were already holding something like a spoon or a crystal sword or an Excal, you're feeling pretty good about yourself anyway.
Yeah, I think the prevailing wisdom, and help me out because I'm not the expert here. So chat and all of the experts that are out there, lower levels, attack power is king. As you get more, the higher level you get, more to the Z type levels, the stat sticks, the things that increase the stats are going to be more highly effective. So you certainly want to balance it out. You want, adding that high attack power with something that gives you plus strength. The power staff, for example, is a fantastic piece of gear. Flame whips, earth hammers, things that add plus strength there certainly are more effective at higher levels.
Yeah, there was another heroine robe in that treasury there, and again, heroine robes just not for the body slot anymore, and just not for the women anymore either, because they're basically all the attack buffs of an adamant armor, which, hey, that's what we're looking for right now, honestly.
Yeah, and Kyrios, I'll tell you what, I did the exact same thing. I opened up that treasury, I got that second heroine robe. My Kane was doing the same thing. He was rocking Excal, heroine, I think bandana for the longest period of time, and the other weapon did not matter as it was swinging for 5k every time.
Black Sword also up there in the stat sticks as well. Definitely the thing that carries Vanilla Cecil through ordeals there is he doesn't have a whole lot going for him other than that Black Sword at that point in time, but it's a really good stat-wise weapon there. Low attack power, but hey, when you're basing it off another weapon there, that Black Sword is really nice.
I tell you, I end up throwing that Black Sword more than anything. I will throw it on if I have a Black Mage, like Stardust Black Sword, because it gives you plus wisdom. It gives you plus like magic attack power of all things. Like it's only negative willpower, which is the white magic, but hey, it's right up there with like a Lilith rod.
Palom wanted to be a Dark Knight. He did not want to be Tella. He wanted to be Dark Knight Cecil.
Yes, it makes literally zero sense, but it also means that you dual whip, and all of a sudden you're black mage. You're like, well, I'm out of MP. I'm a swing, and he's still going to do respectable damage.
And hey, if the enemy doesn't have a boss bit, it's got swoon procs too.
It is flat out a better assassin dagger. That's what it comes down to. It's just a better assassin dagger.
Yeah, speaking of Dark Knight Cecil and Palom, here they are at the top of Zot.
Yeah, unlike Kyrios, when I ran this, I saw the Earth Crystal early on, and I did not want. This is probably where I lost a lot of my time. I opted out to exit out of diving my underground route early to go to Earth Crystal to get the characters because I wanted more characters to go underground with. So I had my Palom and a Dark Knight Cecil from the Earth Crystal, from Tower of Zot, on my way to the Underworld.
Cecil takes a casual 4,600 from that cane jump and decides that he doesn't want any more and goes into his Justice speech anyway. He probably had it queued, but He's like, I will let you guys go, assuming you don't hit me again. But even better, the best thing out of this whole thing isn't these two characters, is the fact that Rosa knows exit now.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Judge Joe about to get to the underground as well, swinging for quad nines between light sword, earth hammer, so that's holy weapon plus fire weapon.
Speaking of high attack power, that's a spoon on top of Zot there.
Yeah.
Everybody wants maximum attack power. There you go.
Demons aren't weak to holy? What? I could have sworn they were weak to holy.
The Holy Lance does not do extra damage to them, but the Crystal Sword does. It's kind of weird. Oh, they're undead. Yeah.
Weak to Crystal Sword. Okay.
I mean, okay, other than D-Mist, what isn't weak to Crystal Sword? Before you say Octomammoth. But that doesn't count.
Mist Dragon.
I said Mist Dragon already.
You said Octomammoth. Meanwhile, so Kyrios is now going up the tower as Judge Joe completes his route into the underground. And I tell you what, I don't know, help me out, chat, and every other person in the community. It feels like the logical progression. You get into the underground. Well, one of the objectives that you have to complete is to kill the boss at the top of the lower tower. And there's 4 trap chests that are on your way. It feels like that's the logical, no-duh thing to do next, but I've not seen too many other runners. Like, you launch the Falcon, immediately land and go do that. Like, it feels like the thing to do. I don't care if you have the key or not.
What boss did we see at the top of this again?
I don't think it matters, but I think in this case it's actually Golbez.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Golbez is easy to set up for, but yeah, he's really easy to set up for during these alert fights. But I mean, yeah, we gotta go do there, and you're actually absolutely right. But also, I really don't want to pay the cover to get in the Chuckle Hut right now. I'll see myself out.
That's okay. Meanwhile, Curios is doing the alerts and checking this out. Frankie Bones launching the Falcon. Judge Joe opted to immediately go over. Let's do the Fey March. Does get his Excalibur. As Fiery Blizzard is getting into the underground, still very quick. This is 34 minutes into for this fight. Still in it much quicker than I think than the average person, and beating what my time was. Faux show.
Also, there's a darkness crystal on the way up. Just confirmation bias, sure, but that's kind of important usually.
Only slightly. We do have complete Cave Bahamut is an objective, so.
Headband, ribbon, heroin robe. You never really expected to see that kind of combination, along with spoon black sword. That is a combination of equipment that exists.
Omnidextrous. Through Omnidextrous, all things are possible, and we just gotta laugh and smile. Joe, meanwhile, showing us kind of a spicy play. We got our Luca key that was available relatively early and said, hey, we're going to check this right now.
I mean, it's an easy enough thing to save scum, and again, through Omnidextrous here, this is a really spicy check this early when you're kind of low level, and the boss down at the bottom is usually pretty spicy, especially in terms of agility. However, Omnidextrous does fix some of those flaws there, allowing you to take some of those attacks you really probably shouldn't be.
Worth noting that you get, as you're diving down here and you're getting in it, again, it's not a horrible spot, but again, you plan on having to reset out, but Judge Joe is going to show us exactly the value that's going to be had here. I did the same thing. I went here pretty early, as I recall, just because I personally really like the Luca Cave check. No black mage, so you can't really warp out of here terribly quickly, but Joe is going to, with a quick here, shows us this is the magma key, which dropping the magma key into the well is an objective.
Yeah, that's pretty required there, and busting out the Cure 3 because, well, I guess we have to go fight whatever was in this wall spot here. Again, just small amounts of party members here, and well, you love to see it here. So that's a demist, fairly fast demist, and again, with one of your best parts of damage being an Excalibur, you do kind of want to take the downgrade there. Of note here, I do believe if you are carrying that black sword around, however, that this is a definite time to equip it.
So Chad is pointing out, so we've seen the football gauntlet. We can defeat the boss of Lower Babel. We have access to Cave Bahamut. We can break the Twin Harp. We have access to opening the treasury from the Earth Crystal. And certainly we can drop the Magma Key to Aggart's Well. We are at 37 minutes and we are in no mode as a community. So this is, did you want a jet for your first, runner's review at this point?
Which is weird because, I will not say who finished, this point in time, but I do remember even the first, the first seed did have sub-hour finishers in it, I do believe there. So, again, jet seeds, relative.
It's all about efficient routing, I think, more than anything.
Speaking of darkness wave, there you go. No more frogs.
Perfect use of that darkness. Great job, Cecil.
And the reward, that's, I mean, between the crystal sword and all the other stuff, the X-Scowl and the spoon, that's 3 people who can really go to town here. Now the big thing here is we only have one runner here who has been up ordeals and does have the required piece of the full gauntlet up there. So yeah, the big question is going to end up who else jumps up the. Or actually, sorry, we do have. Wait, they all have it? Okay, they've all been up there. Never mind.
Yeah.
I am. Okay, I just see Dark Knights, and I'm like really kind of like, wait a minute here, hold up. And everybody's like, oh yeah, we just didn't do the treasure room, the paladin room. Okay, fine. Omni is weird.
I was gonna say, I will say this: I did not do ordeals when I ran the scene. I completely faded it. I found our objective elsewhere, and that was not the objective that I completed. So it's out there. It's somewhere. We will eventually see it, I'm sure. But yeah, this was one of those scenes that it just flew by very quickly.
Yeah, meanwhile, we are seeing Sylph traps out of Kyrios here, who, by his own admission, did not do ordeals there at this point in time. But yeah, it is really weird to decide to head up there, hit both bosses, and hey, you did find an objective up there, but it'd be really, again, like I said, we're extolling the virtues of Darkness Wave. We finally found a place, and that's the Adamant Rock there, and
yeah, that was the Adamant Rock. That's the last objective. The one chest that he opened was immediately that's Adamant Rock. So yeah, we now have knowledge of all objectives now. That was the first chest you opened, Kyrios. I just want to understand, Kyrios, what's the logic of opening the bottom middle chest out of 6 and saying, oh yeah, this is going to be the first chest I open? It just happens to be the one that you open. I just want to know, what's the logic there?
I mean, I'm going to take a guess before I see it, but I'm going to guess it was to possibly just get a little bit more XP on that Dark Knight Cecil, so you knew you could get those waves in for these ghost formations.
Okay. Yeah, it was a misclick. He said a misclick. Okay. I'll buy that.
I mean, if you want something really easy to kill, I'm pretty sure what centipedes are bottom right?
I mean, to his point, he's doing the dark wave for all of them. And when I did the setup, I was using Quake Kid, and while you with a perfect RA1 setup, you can do the ghosts perfectly. Anything with the Morble will not. You can't get the Quake off before the Morble start casting, but the Dark Wave will go off.
Meanwhile, that Morball says, okay, I have seen this Quake song and dance many a time before. We're not getting thrown down the deep fissure right now. And Cecil's like, okay.
In the meantime, while Kyrios made very quick work of those self chests and is going to be turning in the Supersmith directly, Frankie Bones is on their way to get this magma key, and Fiery Blizzard. Where is Fiery? Kenyatta?
Fiery, that's Dwarf 1, actually.
Okay. Kenyatta is Dwarf 2. Okay.
Oh, Dwarf 2, okay. Oh, yeah, it does. Cecil just walked up. Meanwhile, the best Supersmith ever, scrap metal.
Yeah. Chat, if you ran this seed, raise your hand if you were disappointed in that scrap metal. Because I was.
Because, we joked about other characters swinging around weapons, but man, you know what kind of damage Sid could do with an Abel's Lance?
Oh, Sid, unironically, Sid is one of the best characters in the Omnidextrous flag set because his HP scale is amazing. He's a high strength character anyway. He's accustomed to, having two-handed weapons that you can now dual wield with him. Just one of, if not the strongest characters in the Omnidextrous flag set.
And you can even fix his low agility by just strapping 8 billion heroin, or just 3 heroin ropes to him, and all of a sudden, he's acting like he's 25 again.
Yeah, where's our folks from John Con getting out the emotes for Sid?
Yeah, about the only character that really doesn't like Omni is unfortunately a resident monk who still likes fighting with hand-to-hand and claws, and Young really doesn't get much out of swinging weapons around, if I recall.
Not really. I mean, he has different stat gains for leveling and different stat gains in terms of determining his multipliers for his attack. And you can read up all of this in the wiki, but all you need to know is Yang equals bad in Omnidextrous. Like, I think Porum ends up being a better melee fighter than Yang.
We just need to get that. We just need to get that flag then, where it's just Omnidextrous only, claws only, and wow, that's that is a lot of healing going on in Curios. There is, what's better than one life staff?
Dude, well, I was gonna personally, I say life staff crystal shield, but I mean 2 life staffs, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out 30 willpower is really good for any of your cure spells there. Again, though, this demon is just so fast in this position here that both Frankie Bones and Curios, this fight is doable but annoying, is but we get the best way to put it.
I think that's a fair way to go about it.
Yep, Judge Show giving us the treasury check. Gonna be happy to see that heroin robe there at the very least. Yeah, go double back for that one there. But again, what's yeah, Darkness Crystal in hand. I guess this is just looting for just a little bit more because honestly, it's time for K Bahamut, and that will be the 6th objective, I believe, for the crystals. It's 6 out of 7 here. But yeah, things falling into place fairly quickly here, and the lead that Curios had, actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm crossing up my C's here. So yeah, Joe probably headed to raise that whale here very soon.
Worth pointing out, because we did just do the Troya Treasury, there were a couple black shirts that were available, which certainly helps the magic attack power of our resident black mage, Palom. I think as I went through this, I had double black shirt, rune ring, black sword, and I think it was either a Lilith rod or a Stardust rod by the end of it. So yeah, I mean, when you talk about a total magic attack and that wisdom, that ramps up pretty quick as well.
Yeah, it's just really it's just really weird still, just kind of seeing all this. Because the first thing you think of Omnidextrous is everybody just swinging around the biggest sticks they can find. It's that you can still build a really spicy mage type here with all the tools at your disposal, yes.
Who needs party members when you have a power couple and a third wheel? You're not wrong. Omnidextrous, as a general rule, I think lends itself more to melee fighters than casters, which you can't always say was the case in Free Enterprise, right? There's a lot of different flag sets that lend themselves more to caster parties than to melee parties, but this just makes it very easy to build out 4 casters as long as you have 4 warm bodies.
Yeah, again, 4 warm bodies, 1 or 2 good weapons, and you don't really have to, worry about equipment restrictions because, hey, when you get that, when you get that emblem that just has like 3 crystal swords plus 1 of the sailbin chest, wait, they're all usable now.
I mean, even your agility anchor in the middle one, like you don't have to avoid getting levels with them. Double drain spear, hey, you're set up with an RA1 setup. Switch, Zero Must Fight, switch that over to a couple of, a Runax Flame Whip, and they're still doing 2K a swing.
Oh yeah, just imagine your level 70 edge with double drain spear and 3 curse rings could be a 0 agility still. Or 1 in this case, 0 would be bad, but
I mean, Curious does point out we don't have curse strings in this particular flag set, which is not fun, but
well, I mean, you could still find a Tella somewhere and strap a couple drain spears to him, and you get the same effect. But we will we're not going to say Sid, even though he's usually a pretty good, fully leveled anchor, because this is Sid's day in the sun here. So
this is Omnidextrous does kind of even the playing field, doesn't it? The party members that you don't necessarily want to take, you're like, okay, I'll take. You're like, okay, I'm fine. I can make anything work now.
Yeah, basically 12 out of the 13 characters are pretty usable. I mean, Fui doesn't even really take a huge step down. I mean, yeah, he's not the best person to throw everything on, because I believe it's 20 base strength that is not moving, I believe. But I mean, at that point, you really don't have to level him, and Quake, is still right there, and especially against trap chests or things that need sweeping there, he's still pretty good at his job there. Like you said, the only one that you really don't want to see is Yang.
Meanwhile, Frankie set up with most of the objectives, only needs to complete Cape Bahamut. So Frankie, full on go mode at this point in time.
Yep, and Judge Joe does have the crystal in hand as well here. All of our runners really kind of, Fiery's going to throw in that, magma key for objective 4 pretty quickly, more or less. Does have the earth crystal for that as well. So is, I believe, 5 out of 6. Okay, Bahamut, so it does have that. Yeah, Fiery's in go mode. I believe everybody's in go mode, honestly. Or will be here in a moment.
Yeah, there just some cleanup. This is the point in the race where I think most folks, if not in go mode, most people realized they were going to be in go mode very, very quickly. So this is the point in the race where I think just about everyone panics a little bit, because we've not set foot on the moon. We don't really have a whole lot of levels. Our gear is fine. Joe has 3 characters still. He has the Dream Team and an anchor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even throwing on that Dragoon armor, which is actually probably a good idea if you're gonna keep popping chests right now, looking for the fabled Bimmy and Jimmy possibly, or all that XP. Hey, speaking of Bimmy and Jimmy, there they are.
Yeah,
And even doing the great thing of just knocking Edward down for him, everything great there.
yeah, this is just a matter of, hey, we have to be able to get some experience, and if we're only going to be effectively 2-manning Zeromus, we really need to be power overwhelming. And here's the nice thing: if you open a handful of trap chests and you know which trap chests you can and cannot take, we have our 10 key items, I think, at this point in time. Just a handful of trap chests means you're set when it comes to Zeromus.
Oh yeah, and there's the other thing. Rosa, is at this point I don't think has the double life staffs like in there, but a white shirt, Masamune for a little bit of extra speed, ribbon protect ring. She's gonna land some it's gonna take a lot for ribbon white shirt. Never mind there, but yeah, that's the whole thing. Is do you really expect Rosa to take full damage from Big Bang there?
No, you don't. No.
Yeah, if Judge takes any more, and I don't know if he does or not, I would say if he takes any more fights, it might be Ribbon Room.
Wow, Joe, you're going in pretty. Okay, X-Scal Power Staff, double Heroin Robe Crystal Ring, and Rosa, I think, barely knows Cure 4 at this point in time, but sitting at about 1600 HP. Don't know what Rosa has equipped, though.
I think Rosa has the ribbon, white shirt, Masamune. Doesn't have the life steps that Curios found off the Forge shop there. But yeah, like I said, that Rosa's not taking full damage from a Big Bang.
In the meantime, we do have the Z flags. Night 2, what's going on with the Z flags going on here?
Good lord, it has been so long. It was what most of my party was doing in that other tournament most of yesterday there. Nap time, yes. I've been yawning so much. It is time to go to sleep. No, not us here. Much like the 2 characters that Judge Joe does not have. I don't know where I was going with that. But we're just going to ask the question right now. Whose butt are we going to kick tonight? Is it cute? And about 80 other questions that I don't even think I've memorized here.
There's a lot of questions. Just this is ad lib Zeromus edition. Does butt have a blank? I need a noun, chat. Does butt have a blank?
Oh, I guess you're right. Rosa does only have 1650. That's that is a very spicy here.
But have a sword. Does Butt have a lot of swords? Does Butt have a chair? I appreciate these. I think I'm going to try to make Mad Lib Zeromus a thing. Does Butt have a chat? I need a noun and a verb for Zeromus.
Yeah. Yes. What is the Butts Pokemon team? Yes, that's it.
And in this case, the Butts Pokemon team is Iceman, Gutsman, Fireman, Electman.
Okay, Prof, we're not talking about Baji here. I have some. Actually, I did like the area, but this. We're not going to go too far into Final Fantasy 14 chat here. Does Butt's black hole actually kill you? Oh wait, that's a wrong game.
Wrong. Oh god, nightmare. I'm having, gosh, flashbacks now. God.
Yep. Anyway, here comes that first big bang. Kane has been swinging for roughly about 8k a swing here. Yeah, I saw the grenades up there. I wasn't sure what was going on, but yeah. Yeah, Rosa does have wall for Judge Joe there. Again, that Kane is swinging for all the damage. I'm not sure we will see Big Bang 2 here. But anyway, I mean, even I don't know if Kane. No, Kane doesn't have a wall.
Well, King now
Okay,
has
right.
a wall.
King now has a wall, so any potential nerf here would just toss a nuke back in Dr. Wily's face, which does kind of check out for Dr. Wily. Kind of does get voiced by his own much more often than not here. So yeah.
Oh, here comes the Big Bang. This is unnerfed, I think.
Oh no. Maybe not fatal. Depends on again. Kane's not dodging much there. Low rolls Kane. So here we go. The question is, do we see? Yeah, that's a meteor, and no, it lands. And Judge Joe likely saying many things here that we can possibly not repeat on stream.
Yeah, this is this is a big shout out to our restream team, who behind the scenes making sure we switch our audio away from Joe so we don't hear anything. But certainly all the folks behind the scenes, Alisale for the restream, Darth Plagal and Scarcerer for the tracking. Thank you, everyone behind the scenes, for helping putting on this first OMG review of these streams. Judge Joe he took a wipe, still kind of in the lead in terms of getting everything set up though.
Yeah, Frankie's doing some grind here. Does have Crystal in hand. Fiery Blizzard also has Crystal in hand. Looks like walking up to the Bimmy and Jimmy chest here for that nice about 160,000 XP here. Curio still needs to get this plague down, I believe, to cash in on his crystal here. So everybody's in crystal mode here. Again, that's just also rare drops. Oh no, that's not a rare drop. That's just a normal drop. For some moment there, I'm thinking the Warlock carry dropped some arty arrows for Frankie Bones, which, shout out to bows and arrows here. While normally things you would love to find in a free enterprise seed, unfortunately not so good here, just because of the nature of our Omnidextrous.
So I am going to spoil something here for all of the runners who, because it does not appear as though anyone is going to be doing this. There are various trap chests, and I think which trap chests you open as you're going down, because this is obviously they're opening trap chests in order to grind and make sure they get the levels and do everything they need to do. I did not open things like Bimmy and Jimmy and the Bahamut. I ended up opening the Carry Warlock chest in particular because I find those to be a little bit easier when you have a quick casting sweeper like I did in Palom. In the first one, on your way to the Murasame altar, actually is the pass. So I opened that chest and I'm like, I got my levels, right out.
That is actually hilarious there. That very quick. Now I'm gonna guess the one that Frankie is opening is not the same, because I believe it's the 2x2 one that you opened. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's the 2x2 one that I opened. So.
Yep. Meanwhile, Judge Joe back into the Dr. Wily fight here. Grabbed a few E-tanks. Gonna refill the weapon that Wily is weak to. Wait, no, we had plenty of that, but no, just giving it another shot here. Oh boy, you love to see that counter nuke target at least. Bye, Eddie.
Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, this is the interesting thing. Joe had one person walled, the other person, you don't mind seeing. targeted, that's perfectly fine.
Mhm. That said, I would say if Judge Joe falters on this fight here, and he knows if he did or not here, at least by the restreams here, I'm definitely looking at Fiery Blizzard's levels here, saying that's definitely, especially with another actor like that Cecil, is ready to go. Curios is also beelining it to Z here.
Yeah, so Joe is right there to start off with, and certainly set up reasonably well. Curios on their way. Frankie Bones looks like also on his way, all the way.
Yep, it does look like Joe got the nerf this time. The counter nuke flies from Rose's Reflect back onto Wilymus there. And
yeah, did get it nerfed.
And yep, there's Meteor Phase, and even if that rolls top against Kane, I am very surprised that hit Rosa. But
Yeah.
two swings from anywhere, Meteor does come out at 12,000, and two swings at nearly 8,000, 15 and change is more than 12, so.
And GG's with that, and it is Judge Joe who is the first one who completes this. The second async does finish with the time of 1:04:54. So GG's to Judge Joe, who does finish in first place. And Judge Joe was the first overall place winner in this particular seed as well.
Yeah, big congratulations there. And that's kind of saying something because, again, Judge Joe was the first one that finished. We've got two other restreamed racers on the Z fight, and Blizzard is running up to it and probably has one of the structure parties for it, honestly, here. That's just saying how close this one was.
Absolutely. Curios, meanwhile, starting the fight. Frankie Bones has already going. Now, Curios, I think, has a stronger overall party than Frankie. So it'll be really interesting to see how that ends up playing off. Those two, whew.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Kyrios definitely has the equipment advantage here, and multiple characters that will be even a Silk Web, which given the anchoring status, might not be a huge amount there. Palom dropping to this counter nuke, or maybe not, but I don't think Kyrios minded either way here. As Cecil and probably when Kane gets down, yeah, Kane's getting a berserk there, and I do not anticipate Wilymus getting another action on that one.
Dark Knight Cecil swinging for almost 710. Omni is so much fun. It is a power overwhelming seed.
Oh. Table. Yep. Ooh. The ability to draft, like draft beer, or are we talking something else here?
That's something else going on, folks. We're not. Yeah. Of course, the async winners, I'm not entirely sure, and I need to read up on this because I'm a runner. I just go as fast as I can. But there will eventually be, these are effectively, once all of the asyncs are done, we are going to eliminate everyone. We're going to take the top 32 runners once we account for all of the different asyncs. And the top 32 do move on to a final tournament. Meanwhile, both Curios and Frankie Bones do win Here's officially Kyrgios won with a time of 1:08:07, and Frankie Bones wins with a time of 1:08:19. So they are about 12 seconds apart.
And here you wanted me running up and saying something like ties, and then getting newspapered by half the admin team, and then oh wait, that oh never mind.
Not a thing. Not a thing. Yeah, Curios makes a good point in chat. You know, there was different lags and different start times, and our restreamer Ali did a fantastic job of trying to get things synced up as best as she could. Meanwhile, Frankie Bones also finishes now, I think, with an official time of Fiery Blizzard with 1:09:09. These were, by the way, chat, now that this is completed, these were the top 4 runners of the second async race. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just boom, 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 right in a row.
Yeah, so even though Frankie Bones was last on this restream, Frankie Bones also did beat how many people ran this? So yeah, that's again, yeah, that's fourth place is a lot of points, and yeah, that's a real good step to getting into those brackets, as you said. Again, you're going to have your 8 race winners, and you're going to have 24 at-large spots there. So yeah, a fourth place finish in this is a definite good step. Yeah, fourth out of almost 70. Yeah, that's good. Last I checked.
Absolutely. It just really highlighted how, you know, the depth of experience within the community, and everyone who ran a fantastic race. GG's to not just Judge Joe for winning, but all 4 of the runners here, and everyone who ran the community race. It was a fantastic race. But I think that's going to do it for our first OMG route review. What are we calling this? Something interesting here?
You know, we'll workshop that.
A VOD review for our top 4 runners. So GG to everyone for taking part, and thank you everyone for tuning in. We do want to give again one last shout out to everyone behind the scenes who helped put on this wonderful program. Of course, Al Sale for putting on the restream, our trackers, Darth Plagueis and Scarcerer, our 4 runners, you know, Curios, Judge Joe, Frankie Bones, and Fiery Blizzard. And then Night 2, my good friend. Always a pleasure hopping in the booth with you.
It's been a while. I'm glad to be here again. So yeah, always the same, Atasha.
Absolutely.
Oh, and we do have a raid target in mind here. I believe John Burkhead is running, doing a different set of flags here. So we're not worried about spoilers, but we are going to be running over and raiding John Burkhead. So be sure to give him a shout out as well.
Otherwise, just a reminder to everyone else who is running this, the async 3 and 4 is currently open. Make sure to get those times and VOD submitted before noon on Saturday. It is very important to get those done before then. Otherwise, thanks everyone, and we'll see you at the next race. Have a great rest of your night.